Lately, I've been feeling like my emotions are kind of detached from my body.
I'd like to hear your explanation about the correction of the acticle. That's actually been a bit of a problem for me. That's right. Shot with camera.
I just heard him say again that he's been feeling like his heart is kind of detached from his body lately. It's something he's been noticing more and more, and it's making him feel anxious. Also, he's been feeling a bit down, and he's been experiencing various emotions today, like anxiety and stuff like that, just normally facing the camera and walking around. Also, I felt like I was going to hit it, and I was feeling a lot of different things today, and I was feeling anxious and things like that.
Just normally face the camera normally, and walk normally. Please take a look with gratitude. Okay, then I'll come back later. I ended up watching some YouTube videos, and well, there was another person. It's not really appropriate, but what can you do, right? Really, there weren't many there, so I just walked in normally, facing the camera. All right, here comes another one. This is part of it too. The pain from here is kind of a reform at the same time. So with my hands together, in front of me, it feels like the sensation in my hips right now. Just feeling what's there at the moment. And while feeling the difference when the two of us raised it on SN, let's go ahead and raise it. Oh, that's good. You're being pretty clear about this, right? But it's also about the economy in a way. Oh, that's good. You're being pretty clear about this, right? But now the economy is in the opposite situation. This is the backstage area, right? But it's different, isn't it? You see he's down. JR is floating. He's in front. It's different, right? You see he's sinking. JR is floating. He's in front. But he's floating, right? That's right. He's floating, isn't he? You know how? JR is floating, right? He said he's floating in front. But it's floating. That's right. It's floating, right? Isn't that a mess? Has no weight. See, it feels like Putin is floating, right? Well, I do it a lot. Is it like that? Yes. Now that I know what's normal, I can understand it even more. And she's sinking. She's sinking. She's really alone most of the time, so it's a burden on her. So let's go. Yeah, it's amazing how when the two of them get close, they kind of neutralize each other, you know? So with their hands together, they walk. It's light, right? The two of them have such great balance. Honestly, he seems to be the more stable one. This is all about compatibility. It's light, right? The two of them have great balance. He's probably more stable. This is all about compatibility. Well, it's a bit different. So that's all there is to it. If you don't understand this, all sorts of political issues come up, and when you face past problems or various therapies, it just keeps dragging you down, and you can create noise from that. It just becomes a phenomenon. It's just that I've encountered this phenomenon of floating. On the way to the car, shrines have been like that since ancient times. When locals approach this land, they sense something strange. Some who were unwell feel better after visiting, while others who were fine start acting oddly. It's a place with good and bad years, but bad events seem more frequent. Few good people turn bad, but ordinary folks are common. There's a sense that things often go wrong. People have set up rituals and built shrines to attract others. They erected palm trees when happiness came, and built another shrine later. The head priest is unaware of this, but I know this land is unique. I've seen places with ups and downs, and observed these fluctuations in different regions. The impression that it would end up being bad was left, and it was no good that way, so they made similar things, put their wills on it, and called people. They built shrines there, and there was a war, and when the next happiness came, they put up palm trees. And when the next one came, they built a shrine there. The chief priest doesn't know. This land has unique characteristics. I've traveled, discovering places and mapping them. I see lasting influences on people. This is 𝗔𝗫𝐶𝐶, or fox possession. I created this. You know, I'm making a map, and there are people who go to those places. and can't shake off the influence. It's like this transparency. This is what we call 𝗏𝗔𝐶𝐞𝐬, which means fox possession. This is what I created this time.
It's a seal, and this is effective for all floats in systems. There are 30 kinds. So enter, now. Will they say they're sinking? They don't feel it. Perspective. No weight. People lose sight but grow. Just wood. Wear it and walk.
There's no weight to it at all, right? Not at all. You know what I mean. People like that can easily lose sight of themselves. But this helps them grow. It's just made from wood. You put this on, and then walk around.
I get it. My stomach was growling. How's it going? You can feel the sweat building up. Eventually, your feet will touch the ground. Supporting your own gravity on this planet brings in the meaning and reason for your existence. Well, you're floating. I said, how is it now? You just said that. Is that the state when you're floating? That's what I mean. It's the same for me. The opposite is having your feet on the ground. The reason you exist is because you're getting in. It's just as you said. It's not coming in, as expected. The effect lasted for 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks, you see. The reason is that this is made from smoked wood. I used to think the effects of smoking would last a year, but it turns out that's not the case. When I looked into it, I found that it actually takes 5 or 6 years. So it became clear that the effect lasts for 2 weeks. So it's 2 weeks and you can feel it while you're walking around. Isn't that great? This lasts for 2 weeks while you're walking around. Oh, that's great, isn't it? That's good, right. Yeah, oh, that's totally fine. Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's really good. So, we're taking it at 11, 100, 800. Right.
I get it. That feeling of my butt touching the ground has disappeared. I used to stumble and almost fall over in that spot, but now it's longer. So I had that feeling of floating and returning to the ground. That's it.
Applying the seal has an 80% chance of effects. Apply it anywhere casually. It works. Research it yourself. Try a few times. I'd like you to try. Notice a difference? That's a win. Start research there. It varies by person.
You can do this anywhere in the spring. Well, I just do it randomly, but it seems to work. I want you to do your own research on it. Try it out a couple of times. I can figure it out, but I'd really like you to give it a shot. If you can tell the difference by using it, then that's a win, right? So, if you can find a difference, that's where you should start your research.
Oh, it varies from person to person. Yeah, it's different.